So just warmed up already. We're about to get into about 3 sets of face pulls. So we're gonna be doing shoulders and arms today. But we're starting off with pre-exhaustion, those rear delts with some face pulls, and then we're gonna get into overhead shoulder press and go from there. All right? All right, let's go. And so for these face pull variations, so when I grab the rope, I'm grabbing it in my fist, right? So I'm grabbing this by wrapping my arms or my fingers around it. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like in my hand. And when I do it like this, I actually feel that I get way more activation in my rear deltoids, right? So it's a new variation that I've been dabbling with, and I find that I actually feel my rear delts working much better when I grab the handle like this right here. So when the handle's in my hand, I'm grabbing it like this with both hands, like so. Instead of the normal way, it's like this, right? But I find that I can get much more range and much better radial activation when I grab it like this. Ooh. I'm telling you, my rear delts are on fire. Yeah, so definitely that grip makes a huge difference. All right. Our last set of face pulls, and then we get into our shoulder press. Okay, we're gonna be doing some strict press here. I'm just gonna start off with my first set here to kind of warm up, just 15 reps. And then we'll get into our first working set from there. Working set at 205 here. See if I can get 5 to 7 here. I think based on how I'm feeling, that would be a good rep range to aim for. All right. Not a bad set. Yeah, so for these overhead press, we're only doing 3 sets. And based on what I'm feeling right now, a little bit tired, all right? This is one of those days where less is more, right? So normally I'm doing like 5 sets, but today I find that, based on how I'm feeling, 3 sets, a good proper 3 sets would be more beneficial than me forcing myself to try and do 5 sets, right? It's just one of those days where less is more. And that's also part of the big thing with maturing in the gym to make sure that you can kind of live to see another day is by understanding and being more mindful of how you're feeling. And even though you come into a workout with a set goal of reps and sets in mind, sometimes you have to adjust based on how you feel. Don't continue to push yourself to a point where you'll end up seeing diminishing returns, right? All right, so this is gonna be my last set here of these presses. All right. Wait a minute, okay. That felt so weird doing it without being able to see myself in the mirror. Makes it a lot more challenging. And I've said this in like some of my other videos, especially with leg day. It's always good to, if you really want to improve your mind-muscle connection and just overall body awareness, because those 2 things are probably the most important factors in improving your strength and putting on muscle mass if that's your goal, obviously, just muscle in general, right? Because obviously the more body awareness you have, the better your form, the better your technique, the better you can isolate and stimulate your muscles, and ultimately that is the goal, whether you're trying to put on muscle, whether you're trying to improve strength, whatever it is, right? But so that's why every once in a while, try and do your reps and sets away from a mirror, right? So where you have to focus on visualizing what a good rep feels like, visualizing the muscle contracting and you just being aware of your body through the entire movement, right? So, because when you look in the mirror, the mirror kind of takes that mental part out of it a little bit in terms of getting a good feel for what a good rep feels like, and and what good technique feels like, right? So. And that's why probably some of you guys, I promise you, if some of you guys try to do squats or anything without looking in a mirror, I promise you, you feel extremely off. Or you probably feel like, so let's say a weight that you could do normally when you can see yourself in the mirror, I promise you, if you try to do that same weight for the first time without looking in the mirror, I promise you, you'll probably feel weaker. You probably won't be able to lift as much or do as much reps, I promise you. But obviously, don't do that with your max weight, but try it out, try it out, and you guys will see what I mean, and why it's good to throw some sets in there where you can't see yourself in the mirror. All right, so we just finished our overhead shoulder press. Now we're about to get into some tricep rope extension. And so if you're ever doing shoulders and arms in the same day, right after any kind of shoulder movement, you want to go straight into your tricep movement. Reason being is because from the shoulder pressing movement, you've already pre-exhausted the tricep already. So you're gonna have that pre-exhaustion there. So going to do an isolation exercise for the tricep right afterwards is really gonna help to give you a much more significant pump in the tricep. Is going to allow you to actually get more activation in the tricep because they're pre-exhausted, which over time obviously can lead to more growth, right? So anytime you've done any kind of pressing movement, you're already again working the triceps a little bit, you're pre-exhausting them to a degree. So go ahead right after that and do your isolation tricep movements to really see a difference in your tricep growth over time. So we're about to get into some rope extensions here. All right. All right, cool 20 reps. Probably could have, to get the most out of these reps, you notice that when I get to the bottom of the movement, I'm doing like a 1 to 2 second pause there to really get that peak contraction out of the muscle, out of the tricep, okay? So we're just pausing at the bottom briefly before we come back up. Woo. Triceps are cooked already. Yeah, we're trying to get this right here, trying to get this head right here. All right, the back side is already looking nice. Right here, you know what I'm saying? Nice and juicy back there. I'm trying to get this to develop a little bit to get a better tie in with that bicep. All right, last set, then I'm gonna get into some heavy barbell curls to hit the biceps. Then after that, we're gonna do some lateral raises to hit those lateral delts. And then we're gonna finish off with some unilateral tricep and bicep work, just to really burn out. All right, let's go. Yeah. Yo. Okay. Some rest pause. All right, let's do some heavy barbell curls for the fun of it. So we got 135 on the bar. So let's say we can get about 3 sets, 5 reps here. All right. To be honest with you, the reason why I'm doing this is because when I was doing my shoulder press, I didn't want to take all the weight off. So yeah, bro, I don't want to take all this off and put a 25 on. So I'm just like, might as well just do it. That's lazy, which is weird because anyways. All right, let's go. One more. One of the major keys that I'll say that some of you guys get confused with when it comes to lifting heavy and lightweight is that I think for some of you guys think that when it comes to doing your compound movements, that there's a difference in the level of control that you need to maintain, right? So, for example, if you do, let's say 5 times 5 versus, let's say, 3 times 15, for some people, because the 3 times 15 is typically more of an isolation movement, some people typically think that, oh, okay, I need to control my 3 times 15 more so than I do my 5 times 5. But it doesn't matter what weight you're lifting. At the end of the day, the goal is to control, whether it's 1 pound or 1,000 pounds, the goal is to control every single rep, every rep of every set as much as possible. It doesn't matter whether it's light or heavy, the goal is always to maintain control of the weight that you're lifting. And if you focus on that with every weight that you lift, I promise you, you start to see your growth skyrocket, right? Don't think that there's a different formula between how you lift heavy versus how you lift light. It's the exact same. Focusing good technique, controlling the weight, you know, controlling the eccentric and the concentric, and that's it. All right, last set of these curls, and then we're gonna get into some single arm tricep and single arm bicep to finish off, and then 30 minutes of cardio and then ab work. I'm seeing stars after that one. That was a tough one. Well, we'll squeeze it out. All right. We're gonna start off with the overhead tricep extensions here. And we're using the cable fire attachment handle here to do these. Oh man, I love doing single arm work, man. It's extremely isolating, which is what you're looking for at the end of your workout. And also, you hear me talk about muscle imbalances a lot. And the difference in strength between arms or legs really magnifies when you end your workout and you're pretty exhausted, and then you go to do unilateral work. You really, when both arms are relatively fatigued, when you do unilateral work, you really get to see the weakness difference between arms. All right? And I think that's probably one of the greatest times for you to work on unilateral work to kind of help bridge the gap between with your strength differences between arms and legs, right? Because right now, like when I went into this just now, right, when I'm tired, my left arm is stronger than my right in terms of my biceps. All right, so when I went into my first, doing my first side, my right arm, it was so hard, as you guys could see. But then once I went to my left, it was so much easier. You know what I'm saying? It was significantly easier. I could have done three or four extra reps on my left, excuse me. All right, so, but if I wasn't as tired, the difference wouldn't be as magnified. You wouldn't be able to see the difference as much, right? So it's also good to do unilateral work at the end, close to the end of the workout when you're exhausted, right? So, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch to the rope here. Still single arm, but we're gonna use the rope instead. Okay, that's good to know. So right now, my left tricep is weaker than my right. So I got the opposite problem, where my left bicep is stronger than my right, and my right tricep is stronger than my left tricep. So, bruh, from years of lifting, these imbalances are bound to happen, but you just wanna do as much as you can to make sure the imbalances don't get too great between sides. That's the best you can do. Because it's normal for one side to be stronger than the next, but you don't want that discrepancy to increase, right? You want to keep it relatively low. So that's why it's good to add in some unilateral work to every exercise that you do, whether that's to begin with or to finish with. All right, let's go. So much easier, man. Okay. We're gonna wrap up this workout by doing some lateral raises. We need to hit those lateral delts. So we're trying to do 50 reps here. We're just using a 20-pound dumbbell, and we're gonna utilize rest pause until we get to 50, all right? So we're just really just trying to burn out the delts here. Okay, that's 20. Ooh, this is harder than I thought. Okay, that's 30. 10 more. Okay. Yo. Whew. Now that's how you finish your workout. Super high intensity. Yeah. When I started, my shirt was loose. From the pump, my sleeve is now tight. Holy. Can't even get this up over my shoulder. Oh. Can't even flex. All right, we out.